Stop everything you're doing for 30 seconds, because this could change the way you see your entire existence. Have you ever felt like there's something missing from what you were taught about life, death, and who you really are? As if someone had erased a page from the book of your soul? Turns out you were right. 12 centuries ago, a manuscript revealed humanity's most closely guarded secret, and it was intentionally erased from history. Not by accident, but because it gives you a power that many don't want you to have: the knowledge of what your soul actually did before you were born. And today, it resurfaces. The book, which few dare to mention, describes in detail the sacred stages the soul goes through before incarnating. The Codex Animae, in Latin, is an ancient manuscript written more than 1,200 years ago by a secret order of mystics. They say it contains maps of the soul's journey before, during, and after life, revealing secrets that religions and governments have hidden to maintain control over people. Each stage reveals a piece of who you are and what you were programmed to forget. Imagine knowing clearly why you were born into this family, in this body, at this time. Imagine understanding your greatest challenges, your deepest pains, as part of a much larger plan. A plan chosen by you before descending into this world. We're not talking about loose theories or modern philosophies. We're talking about an ancient map of the soul, guarded for centuries, passed down only to a few initiates, away from the eyes of the world. If you access this knowledge, your life will never be the same. You will understand that nothing happens by chance. Every person who crosses your path has a reason. Every obstacle is a stepping stone to something greater. And most importantly, you will realize that there are no victims in the universe. You are, and always have been, the architect of your journey. Recognizing this is the first step to moving out of the feeling of helplessness, guilt, fear, and taking command of your existence. How many times have you looked at your own life and thought, why am I here? What is the meaning of all this? Most of us go through life as if we were on a runaway train. Events happen, people come and go, challenges arise and Tawafru, and everything seems so out of our control. That feeling of emptiness, of lack of direction, doesn't happen by accident. It's the side effect of having forgotten who we truly are and what we came here to do. But what if I told you that before you were born, you knew exactly the reason behind every step you would take? According to the Forbidden Book, before incarnating, your soul undergoes a profound preparation process. You, as a free consciousness, chose your parents, your physical body, the challenges you would face, missions you would carry. All of this was decided in a state of total clarity and wisdom, without fear, without doubts. Your soul knew that every experience, even the most painful ones, would be an essential part of your evolution. Just as gold is purified in fire, your soul knew that only through experience could it expand its light. In the most amazing part, you were not alone in this planning. You were guided by beings of light, masters, spiritual counselors, loving consciousnesses, who helped you design the perfect life for your growth. When you understand that nothing is by chance, your vision of life changes radically. Pain is no longer punishment, it is training. Losses are not punishments, they are opportunities to make room for something greater. Difficulties stop being burdens. They become keys to the next level of your journey. This awareness transforms suffering into power, transforms fear into wisdom, transforms doubt into faith. So now close your eyes for a moment and ask if the answer resonates within you like an ancient whisper. Then you are ready to remember your soul's journey. Now let's understand the 7 sacred stages your soul goes through before being born. According to the Codex Animae, before incarnating, your soul passes through 7 sacred stages. These stages are like the backstage of existence, where all the preparation happens. Each stage has a purpose. Each stage shapes who you are. And knowing this process is like receiving the map back, the map that was taken from you at the moment of birth. Stage 1. The call of the universal consciousness. Many of us go through life with a silent, almost imperceptible feeling. A longing for something we can't explain, a sense that something is missing. Even when everything seems right on the outside, this feeling is not imagination. It is an echo of the first stage of the soul's journey, the call of the universal consciousness. According to the Codex Animae, everything begins when the universal consciousness, the beating heart of all existence, issues a call. This call is not an order, it is not an imposition, it is a loving invitation. A silent music that crosses dimensions and reaches your soul wherever it may be. When your soul hears this call, it remembers. It's time to evolve again. It's time to live a new experience. It's time to return to the sacred game of physical existence. At that moment, you as a free soul have the supreme choice to accept or not accept the call. And believe me, if you are hearing this now, it's because somewhere a long time ago you accepted. You chose to return. You chose to live. You chose to feel, love, grow, make mistakes, start over. Even now incarnated, the call continues to echo. It appears in moments of silence, in the sparkle of a child's eyes, in the beauty of a sunset that makes you cry for no reason, in that restlessness that makes you seek answers society never gave you. Recognizing the call is recognizing that you are not just a body. It is accepting that your existence has a much greater purpose than just working, paying bills, and going with the flow. When you begin to consciously listen to this call, your life changes. You start to seek more meaning in your choices. You feel the urge to align with the truth of your soul. You start to remember, even without understanding how. If this call vibrates within you now, know this: you are ready to remember what you have forgotten. Stage 2. The life review. Do you carry guilt and regrets that seem to hold you back? How many times have you caught yourself thinking, if only I had done things differently? If only I had said what I kept inside? If only I could go back in time? Most of us live trapped by these invisible chains. Regrets from the past, guilt that paralyzes us, mistakes that seem unforgivable. And yet deep down we know that all of this is part of something greater. But what if I told you that, even before being born, your soul had already reviewed all of this and more in a single profound experience of consciousness? According to the Codex Animae, the second stage of the soul's journey is the life review. Before diving into a new body, your soul is invited to revisit everything it lived in its past existences. And this review is different from any human judgment. There is no punitive God pointing a finger. There is no shame. There is no condemnation. There is only consciousness and love. You feel in the first person each act you performed and the impact it had on others. If you hurt someone, you feel that person's pain. If you healed someone, you feel their joy. If you inspired someone, you feel that person's soul expand. The life review is a great lesson in empathy and cosmic responsibility. Not to punish you, but to teach you, so that you can grow and evolve. Knowing that your soul has already reviewed your actions completely changes the way you deal with mistakes and regrets. You understand that. Mistakes are not the end, they are tools for learning. Guilt is a prison, consciousness is liberation. Forgiveness is not a favor to others, it is a gift to your own soul. From this understanding, you can begin to live with more lightness, more compassion, and more responsibility. And the beauty is, you can at any moment change the impact you are creating. Imagine that you could do your own life review now, while there is still time to change what needs to be changed. Close your eyes and ask yourself, if I had to review my life today, what would I want to change? What impact am I leaving on the people who cross my path? What mark do I want to engrave on the eternity of my soul? This awareness is a gift. Stage 3. The Council of Souls. Do you feel like you need to make important decisions but don't know who to turn to? So many choices, so many possible paths. And often the feeling of being completely alone to decide. But what if I told you that you have never been alone? That there is an invisible, loving, and wise force that has been guiding you long before you were born. In the third stage of the soul's journey, revealed in the Codex Animae, you meet those who have walked by your side since before your first breath, the Council of Souls. After the life review, your soul is taken to a sacred place, a plane of pure light and consciousness, where it meets with the Council of Souls. Imagine a silent room vibrating with love. Beings of light, ancient, compassionate, immensely wise, gather around you. They know you better than you know yourself. They remember all your journeys, your struggles, your victories. These beings do not judge, they welcome, and together you analyze the lessons your soul still wishes to learn, the wounds that still need to be healed, the abilities your soul longs to develop. It is in this council that the plan for your next life is drawn. You discuss which challenges you will choose to face, which souls you will meet along the way, as allies, teachers, or even opponents, what great mission your soul will seek to fulfill. And yes, you actively participate in this plan. Nothing is imposed. You choose with full consciousness. Knowing that you have always had a loving spiritual team by your side completely transforms your perception of life. You begin to realize that strong intuitions are not just impressions, they are signs sent by this council. Important dreams, chance encounters, even difficult pains, can be parts of the plan drawn with love, and more. You understand that you can reconnect with your council even now. Through meditation, sincere prayer, deep silence, you can hear these ancient voices again. You can ask for clarity, strength, guidance. Stage 4, the choice of life purpose. Days that pass the same, dreams that seem distant, a feeling that you were born for something more, but still haven't discovered what it is. That feeling of emptiness is not a mistake. It is the sign that somewhere your soul still remembers the mission it chose, but that you forgot as you cross the veil of physical existence. After reviewing your past lives and planning your next steps with the Council of Souls, comes the most sacred moment of all, the choice of your life purpose. According to the Codex Animae, the soul does not incarnate without a mission. It chooses, with clarity and love, what will be the great lesson, the great transformation, the great impact it will seek in this existence. This purpose can manifest in various ways. Healing relationships from past lives, developing compassion or courage, inspiring and awakening other souls, bringing new talents and wisdom to the world. Each purpose is unique, each mission is irreplaceable, and most importantly, your soul never chooses an impossible purpose for itself. You were born with everything you need inside you to fulfill what you chose. The first key to remembering your purpose is to pay attention to what deeply touches your soul. Ask yourself, what situations awaken my passion and energy? What kinds of problems in the world would I like to solve? What would I do with joy, even without receiving anything in return? Your purpose is hidden in these simple answers. It is not outside you, waiting to be found like a lost treasure. It is already pulsing inside your heart, like a discreet flame waiting to be fed. Moreover, the challenges that repeat the most in your life are also precious clues. The greatest pains carry the seeds of your purpose. What hurt you most in the past may be exactly what you came to heal in yourself and in others. Stage 5, the choice of body and family. Many people believe that birth is a random lottery, that you simply appear in any family, in any body, in any place. But the Codex Animae reveals something very different and much deeper. You chose all of this. Before incarnating, your soul, in full consciousness, was led to visualize different possibilities of bodies, family lineages, social and historical environments. And among all the options, you chose the one that best matched your life purpose. I know this idea can be hard to accept, especially when we look at lives full of pain, abandonment, poverty, abuse. It may seem absurd to imagine that someone would choose to go through that. But your soul does not think like the human ego. It sees every difficulty as a tool, every scar as a catalyst for awakening. It chooses not the easiest path, but the most powerful for its evolution. You didn't choose your parents for external appearances. You chose them for the invisible lessons they carried, perhaps to learn forgiveness, perhaps to break cycles of pain that have been repeating for generations, perhaps to strengthen yourself through overcoming. The same goes for your body. You chose the physical characteristics, the genetic predispositions, the limitations or facilities, because they would be perfect for the challenges and achievements you set out to experience. Nothing, absolutely nothing, was a mistake. When you understand this, you begin to look at your personal story with new eyes. Pain ceases to be injustice and becomes purpose. Resentment toward your parents or the environment you were born into can dissolve into understanding. You realize that the souls that challenged you the most on earth are often the ones who loved you the most in the spiritual plane, those who agreed to play difficult roles for your growth. And the transformation happens here. When you honor your soul's choices, you unlock the true power within you. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you recognize yourself as a free being who accepted the most courageous mission of all, to live and evolve through the human experience. Stage 6, the Veil of Forgetfulness. After choosing your mission, your body, your family, comes the most delicate moment of the soul's journey, crossing the Veil of Forgetfulness. In the spiritual plane, your soul knows everything. It remembers all its lives, understands the purpose of each existence, feels unity with the all. But for the human experience to be real, intense, and transformative, it is necessary to forget. It is necessary to be born without memories, like a blank page. The Codex Animae describes this moment as a silent crossing, a portal of glowing mist where, upon passing through, your soul leaves behind all awareness of eternal truths, not as punishment, not as a curse, but by choice. Imagine trying to play a game where you already know all the outcomes. There would be no excitement, no growth, uncertainty, mystery, doubt, pain. All of this is part of the plan. The veil is what makes the game of life real. It is what allows you to learn to love in the darkness, to trust the invisible, to find your way even without a map. That's why you don't remember the Council of Souls. That's why you don't recall choosing your parents. That's why you so often feel lost. The veil was placed with love, so that every step would be authentic. But the veil is not perfect. It is thin in some places, in dreams, in strong intuitions, in moments of deep silence. You feel echoes of your true origin. You feel homesick for a place you can't locate. You feel that there is something more waiting beyond what the eyes can see. That longing, that search, is your soul itself trying to pierce the veil, trying to remember. And the most beautiful thing is that you can start tearing this veil now, consciously. When you meditate, when you pay attention to subtle signs, when you follow your intuition without fear, small tears begin to appear. The light of who you really are starts to pass through. You remember that you are not just this body, not just this name, not just this story. You are eternal. And even if you have forgotten for a while, even if you have doubted, your essence has never changed. It has only slept, waiting for the right moment to awaken. If you feel you are ready to cross the veil of forgetfulness and truly live the purpose your soul chose, I invite you to the Quantum Thinking Challenge. In 21 days, you will reprogram your mind, raise your vibration, and access the dormant power within you. Many people have already awakened to a new reality and transformed their lives. Now it's your turn. The link is in the first pinned comment. See you on the other side. Stage 7, the leap of faith, birth. After crossing the Veil of Forgetfulness, after leaving behind the conscious memory of everything you planned, you arrive at the most courageous moment of the soul's journey, birth. The Codex Animae describes this moment as the true leap of faith. You, an eternal consciousness full of wisdom and love, dive into the dense layers of physical existence, without guarantees, without certainties, without conscious memories. Only pure trust. Only the invisible impulse of one who knows that life is the path to expansion. This leap is perhaps the greatest act of courage in all existence. You leave the vastness of the infinite to enter a fragile and vulnerable body. You accept the limitation of matter. You accept pain, fear, loss. You accept to forget who you are, so that through each human experience, you can remember again. You are born small, defenseless. You breathe for the first time. You cry. The physical world welcomes you, harsh and wonderful at the same time. Warmth, cold, touch. Everything is new. But inside you, something ancient remains. The spark of remembrance. Early childhood is the period when the soul is still very connected to its origin. Small children talk about past lives, converse with invisible friends, have dreams that seem like messages from other worlds. But over time, the veil becomes denser. Society shapes, conditions, teaches you to forget. And yet, you never forget completely. In moments of silence, of deep pain, of inexplicable joy, your soul whispers. It remembers the leap you took, remembers why you came. And if you listen, even if just for a flash, you will feel that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Each challenge you face is a chance to remember. Each love you experience is an echo of eternal truth. Each new beginning is a reminder that you were once courageous and you can be again. Now take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your own courage. You agreed to be born, agreed to forget, agreed to play the hardest game of all, to live as a human and still try to remember that you are divine. Birth is not just the beginning of physical life. It is the beginning of the great adventure of the soul seeking its own light. And now that you remember this, it is impossible to go back. Now that you have started to remember, an inevitable question arises. Why was all of this hidden from us? If our soul goes through this sacred process before birth, if each life has a purpose, if we are the architects of our own existence, why were we taught to live as victims? Why did we grow up believing we are small, limited, unworthy? The answer is simple and brutal, because conscious souls are not easy to control. Since the dawn of civilizations, those who held power realized a dangerous truth. A human being who remembers their true nature does not accept being manipulated, does not accept living in fear, does not accept the illusion of separation. Imagine a humanity where each person knew they are eternal, that they chose to be here, that they are co-creators of their own reality. Governments, religions, institutions would lose the ability to dictate rules through fear. Guilt, punishment, control, tools used for centuries, would simply stop working. That is why this knowledge was hidden, not just kept. It was intentionally erased, distorted, discredited. The Codex Animae is just one among many forbidden texts. Manuscripts that spoke of the soul's journey were banned, burned, buried in history. Masters who tried to remind humanity of their true origin were persecuted, ridiculed, silenced. But truth has its own power. It cannot be buried forever. It lives in the margins of ancient books, in the messages of dreams, in the whispers of your own heart. You feel it, don't you? That internal restlessness, that feeling that there's so much more than what was told, is your soul trying to break through the wall of lies that was built around you. And the good news is, no one can stop your soul from awakening. The power to remember who you are has always been, and will always be, within you. Now, knowing this, you have a choice. You can go back to sleep as those who built the forgetting want, or you can move forward, break old patterns, and live as what you have always been, an eternal, free, and conscious being. Now that you know the truth was hidden, the next question is inevitable: how to start remembering who you truly are. The Codex Animae says that the memory of the soul is not completely erased, as it remains dormant, like a seed under the earth, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. And these conditions can be created. Remembering who you are does not happen in a magical flash. It is a process, a gradual reunion with what has always been inside you. And the more you align with certain practices and signs, the easier it becomes to tear the veil, and let your true light emerge. It all starts with silence. Modern life is noisy, chaotic, full of distractions, and this is intentional. Because in silence you begin to hear what was forgotten. Meditating even for a few minutes a day is like lighting a lantern in the darkness of consciousness. Each deep breath, each moment of mindfulness brings you closer to your essence. Then there are dreams. The Codex reveals that during sleep the soul partially frees itself from the body's limitations. Lucid dreams, out-of-body experiences, recurring symbols, all of these are fragments of memory of your true origin trying to reach you. Do not ignore your dreams. Write them down, reflect on them, ask yourself, what is my soul trying to remind me? I've had dreams where I met a person that, in this life, I had never seen before, but when I woke up I had the intense feeling that I had known them for a long time. Or dreams of houses and places where I felt very good, familiar, but that I had never seen or visited in this earthly life. Another powerful way is to follow your intuition. Logic has been exalted in the modern world as the only reliable path, but the soul whispers through intuition. Sometimes without apparent reason you feel like changing your path, talking to someone, starting a new project. These impulses, if pure and aligned, are not coincidences. They are memories of the soul in action. And above all, remember, you are not alone. The Council of Souls, your spiritual guides, your own higher essence, they are all still here, waiting for you to make space for the reunion. When you sincerely ask for help, the universe responds, always. Awakening is an act of courage. It is stepping out of autopilot. It is refusing the narrative of fear, limitation, and guilt. It is choosing every day to remember, I am eternal, I am light, I am the creator of my reality. Do not wait for the world to change for you to begin. Do not wait for everything to be perfect to act. The world changes when you change. Your life blooms when you choose to bloom. And if something inside you resonated with everything you heard so far, know this, your awakening has already begun.